Spermageddon, Countdown to Zero. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is the Depopulation series. Are we the last biological humans? Today we address one of the most shocking and least discussed aspects of modern biological collapse, the male fertility crisis. This isn't a distant theory or an emerging concern. It's measurable, it's global, and it's accelerating fast. Scientists now warn that sperm count, the most basic indicator of male reproductive health, is in freefall. If the trend continues, we may hit a point within the next 2 decades where the median man can no longer reproduce without assistance. This isn't a footnote in human history. It's a flashing red alarm that we've chosen to ignore, until now. In 2021, reproductive epidemiologist Dr. Shanna Swan published a groundbreaking book titled Countdown. In it, she laid out one of the most comprehensive warnings in modern science, that sperm counts in men worldwide have dropped more than 50% since the 1970s. That's not a typo. In just over 40 years, we've seen male reproductive potential cut in half. And unless immediate intervention occurs, that number could hit 0 by 2045. Think about what that means. Within our lifetime, the average man may be functionally infertile, not due to trauma or disease, but due to slow, cumulative chemical interference in the basic biological processes that once guaranteed the survival of our species. This isn't natural selection. It's synthetic sterilization, and it's being driven by modern life itself. Dr. Swan's research draws from dozens of peer-reviewed studies, analyzing sperm data from over 40 countries. The trend is not isolated, it's not localized, it's global, and it's not slowing down. In fact, between 2000 and 2018, the rate of sperm decline began to accelerate. In just 18 years, men lost more than 25% of their average sperm count, a drop sharper than anything observed in the decades prior. It's not just the quantity of sperm that's falling. Morphology and motility, that is, sperm shape and movement, are also deteriorating, which means even if men still produce sperm, it's increasingly less viable for conception. Now the big question, why is this happening? One word, chemicals. The very technologies and products designed to make life more convenient, plastics, fragrances, food packaging, cleaning agents, cosmetics, pesticides, have become a biochemical assault on the endocrine system. Among the chief culprits are substances known as PFAS, phthalates, and BPA. These are endocrine-disrupting chemicals. That means they interfere with hormonal function, including testosterone regulation, sperm development, and fetal sexual differentiation. PFAS, often called forever chemicals, are used in non-stick cookware, waterproof clothing, and fast food wrappers. They're almost impossible to break down, and they've been found in the blood of nearly 97% of Americans. Phthalates are used to soften plastics and are found in everything from toys to shampoo to food containers. BPA is another plastic additive linked to hormonal disruption, and while some products now claim to be BPA-free, the substitutes being used, like BPS, are not necessarily safer. What these chemicals do is insidious. They don't kill sperm directly. They sabotage the body's ability to produce it properly over time. In developing fetuses, they alter the formation of male genitalia, reduce testicular volume, and skew the body's future hormonal balance. In adolescents and adults, they reduce testosterone, impair sperm formation, and in many cases, increase the risk of testicular cancer. This chemical interference doesn't just affect fertility, it affects identity, development, and long-term health. This issue isn't only about sperm. It's about the biological infrastructure of human continuity being eaten from the inside out. And it's not hypothetical. Study after study has linked these chemicals to lower sperm counts, altered puberty timelines, and rising rates of infertility. And yet, they remain legal, widespread, and underregulated in most parts of the world. Why? Because convenience sells, and profit wins. Entire industries depend on the continued use of these compounds. Plastics, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, the chemical economy is deeply entrenched. And the regulatory bodies designed to protect the public often lack either the teeth or the political independence to act decisively. Even in countries where some restrictions exist, they are usually reactive, not preventative. A substance has to be proven toxic beyond doubt, often after decades of exposure, before it's banned. And by then, the damage is done. One of the most disturbing aspects of this crisis is the normalization of infertility. Rates of IVF use have exploded in recent years. Sperm banks are overflowing with applicants, not because people prefer donors, but because couples, and especially men, can no longer conceive without help. Male fertility clinics are expanding at a rapid pace, offering testosterone gels, hormone therapy, and surgical interventions. But these are band-aids on a bullet wound. They don't address the cause. They manage the symptoms of collapse. And while all this is happening, we're witnessing a dangerous cultural shift. The idea that declining fertility is simply a modern lifestyle choice, that childlessness is trendy, that families are a burden, that reproduction is outdated. But what we fail to see is how these ideas are not only culturally embedded, they are chemically reinforced. When testosterone drops, libido drops. When sperm declines, so does the desire and ability to reproduce. This isn't just a change in mood or preference. It's a rewiring of human instinct, driven by environmental toxicity. And it's not just about men. While this video focuses on sperm, female reproductive health is also under siege. Egg quality is deteriorating. Polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, and endometriosis are rising. Miscarriages are increasing. Women are experiencing declining fertility at younger and younger ages. But the male side of the equation is still foundational. It only takes one compromised sperm to fertilize an egg. And if that sperm is misshapen, immobile, or damaged, the entire reproductive process breaks down. Let's go back to that number, 2045. That's the year Dr. Swan predicts we could hit 0. Median sperm count, 0. Meaning that half of all men would be functionally infertile. No sperm in their semen. That prediction assumes current trends continue. And so far, they are. This is a countdown. It's not theoretical. It's statistical. What does a zero-sperm world look like? It means universal dependence on artificial reproduction. No more spontaneous conception. No more unplanned pregnancies. Every child becomes a medical event, a procedure, a product of technology and bureaucracy. And with that shift comes something deeper, the end of reproductive autonomy. Fertility becomes a managed commodity. And access to that commodity will depend on wealth, compliance, and genetic criteria. This future is not science fiction. It is already forming. And what makes it particularly disturbing is the silence surrounding it. You won't hear world leaders addressing sperm collapse in state speeches. You won't see national campaigns warning men about chemical infertility. You won't find school curriculums teaching the next generation how their reproductive systems are being sabotaged. Because to acknowledge it would require challenging the systems that profit from our destruction. There is also a psychological cost. Young men are growing up in a world where their biological future is under threat, and no one is telling them why. Many feel weak, anxious, disconnected from their bodies. Testosterone levels have declined dramatically over the last 2 decades. Depression, low libido, and gender dysphoria are rising. These are not just social trends. They are biological signals, warnings, indicators of systemic malfunction, and still, nothing is done. At best, we get distraction. At worst, we get denial. Some scientists are even mocked for raising the alarm. Shanna Swan has faced resistance, skepticism, and politicized pushback. But her work remains one of the most comprehensive, peer-reviewed, and scientifically validated resources on the male fertility crisis in the world. And ignoring it doesn't make the data disappear. The uncomfortable truth is this. We are sterilizing ourselves. Not in secret labs, but in our kitchens, our bathrooms, our clothing, our air, our food. We are surrounded by materials designed for convenience and profit, and they are undermining the most basic function of human life, the ability to reproduce. And if that doesn't terrify us, nothing will. This is not a question of population control. This is a question of biological survival. The legacy human, unmodified, naturally conceived, sexually reproductive, is on the endangered species list. And the longer we pretend that everything is fine, the shorter our window becomes to intervene. If sperm count hits 0 by 2045, that means our children, or even we, could be the last generation capable of reproducing without assistance. And that changes everything. Not just how we reproduce, but who gets to reproduce, and who decides what comes next. Use this knowledge, because this countdown isn't science fiction, it's math, and the clock is running out. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones, the replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans, the merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Sos Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.